Hey friends, my name is Skylent, and today, quick video, top 5. It's a genre that is going to explode. That's going to be free to play and also buy to play. Mobile games, PS4, PC, everywhere. There's going to be a lot of looter shooters coming up, and a lot of these are going to continue on into the future. But right now, you probably have maybe just recently heard of the term, and you want to find out some games that you can just jump into. And here's 5 that I think I can recommend. For some reasons, I'll definitely still be critiquing them, but overall, these are like the 5 that I think people know of. And I think there's some fun to be had here, and hopefully you do actually find a game that you haven't heard before. But I'm going to be kind of ranking these based on how good the loot is, how good the shooting is, and kind of breaking my own rules, though, is more so kind of the popularity, the population as well, going into this factoring. I think because looter shooters, you play with friends and you want this in-game economy to an extent, you want to play in a social environment. I don't think a looter shooter needs to be, such like Borderlands, you could play that single player, but these are the 5 free games that they just have, all of them really do rely on their communities, so I'm going to also be using that. Anyways, guys, I got 5, top 5 free-to-play shooters. Let's keep the hype alive. Okay, starting out the list, and I always love flipping it on its head, we have a game that probably maybe at first glance doesn't quite look like a shooter, and that game is Trove. But believe me, actually, Trove, for most of the classes that I've played, that I've seen, and that I just did a little bit of research on, it seems that they all actually have shooting mechanics to some kind, to some degree. If not, like, overwhelmingly, the class does actually play as a shooter. Though, I don't think anybody's going to say Overwatch isn't a first-person shooter just because a couple characters are melee. You know what I'm saying? So, Trove is a shooter, and it definitely is a looter. Now, the game has changed drastically since its inception, but I think it's still a pretty cute game, especially kind of a fun for the family sort of feeling. But honestly, it's outrageous. It's so colorful, and it moves very, very quickly. In fact, you get kind of like all the abilities of your class like in the first few minutes. And then from there, it's just an insane roller coaster of grind. So you just kind of jump from zone to zone, like it's like warp to warp, and you warp into like this procedurally generated world, and other people are running around with you, and you're just trying to find a dungeon, clear the boss, and just run it down, right? It's really ridiculous. There's even PvP now. You do have your own custom houses and custom islands. There's a lot of cute, silly stuff going on here, and the classes are they're dumb too. They're dumb fun. Like the Neon Ninja being a half melee, half ranged class that's just like zipping and dashing around. The Gunslinger with his like jump and gliding. Oh yeah, the jumping? This is like a platformer game. You are like double jump, triple jump? No. Like dozen jump, right? Like 13x jump and more and higher. Plus, it's pretty ridiculous. That's really how you define Trove, is just ridiculous. I know it kind of looks like Minecraft. That's just kind of the voxel graphics. There is destruction. You will be blowing up walls and stuff like that, but it's way more than Minecraft. But also, and in a lot of ways, it's a lot less. Just go in knowing that it's like a looter shooter, and then you're gonna have a phenomenal time, honestly. All right, guys, number 4 is kind of a hidden gem, and I love to talk about this game, and it's a game called Starbreak. Starbreak is one of the very few browser MMO that I like to talk about, but I really enjoyed it because it's kind of, in a way, obviously inspired by Realm of the Mad God, being a browser game, being the looter game, and also being roguelite. This is actually a roguelite MMO proper, as in you start with a character, you grind it out, you can die. Dying sucks, and then you might have to, restart a little bit. There is some soft progression, but you do restart, you do get a new character, and there's a few characters out there that might be like melee oriented. At least the second character that I played used like this dagger whip thing. But no, it's a shooter. It's a shooter with looting mechanics. What I really appreciate though is that it's a 2D platformer MMO, and I've played 2D platformer online games. I played .io games like ridiculously, but this is the one that actually gets tons and tons of players in soft, persistent servers. So you jump into a zone, other people can join with you, and then you even fight bosses and things. And the bosses use platforming mechanics. So you have to jump from platform to platform. It's really precarious. The aiming mechanics are pretty legitimate. Being on PC, it's pretty fun. I enjoyed it. I thought it has a cute kind of character to it, all in all. But it's just very different. It's a very different game that a lot of people haven't talked about. Definitely not as much as Realm of the Mad God. But out of all the other kind of similar games, this is the one that just stands above the rest, and yet is still a hidden gem. So please give this one a shot. Yeah, but halfway on the list, it's gonna be Realm of the Mad God. Yeah, no, and looter shooters, some people, you're probably thinking maybe third-person shooter. I already just showed a platformer shooter, but no, we got top-down shooter, and I think it's fitting. I think it's fine. You know, it's a looter shooter, it's a shoot. It doesn't matter where the camera angle is, I'm gonna fit it in the list. So Realm of the Mad God being top-down, you know, maybe that's not for you, but I think it would fit for a lot of people because this is a bullet hell proper game. It gets insane, actually, but I really love the breakneck pace of this as well. Kind of similar to Trove and Starbreak. You can just jump in, have a good time, jump out, and then come back again sometime. And I think that's really awesome. I want to see more looter shooters like that instead of being like, you know, a lot of looter shooters is like, man, you got to really sit in it and just session it out, you know, like 4 hours, 8 hours to get something out of it. But I think the first three, and then especially Realm of the Mad God, exemplifies where I want to see more looter shooters, which is more just like, it's just silly, you know, just jump in, shoot, and loot, okay? Anyways, Realm of the Mad God also has the mechanic. Really, the one that started this sort of mechanic is, it for MMOs at least, is you start with a class and then you do stuff and things. You know, you do these open quests, dynamic quests. People just join in, jump out, and you're just running through the world of the dungeons, very easily jumping in with parties and lots of other people until you get into the end game raid where you got to fight the Mad God. Pretty epic shit. But then you might die in between there and then you know, you actually start with a new class that you unlock from the achievements of the previous class's life. But yeah, every class actually is a shooter. It is like a bullet hell proper. It's a bullet hell rogue light MMO. And actually, this is being remade pretty soon here for Unity, so it's probably going to run better, look better. And if you guys are wondering if it's popular, it's popular. It's popular. You know, maybe Trove, not so much. Starbreak is definitely a hidden gem. Realm of the Mad God is one of the most popular MMOs, actually. It was one of the cheapest MMOs ever made, one of the most innovative and unique, and all the other clones just doesn't work. And the only other game that does work is kind of a departure, which is Starbreak. So yeah, definitely still, if you haven't played it or if it's been a while, let's jump back in. Realm of the Mad God. Okay, number 2, Destiny 2. I think Destiny 2 is pretty cool. I need to play so much more of it, but I just feel kind of salty. I'm just gonna come out and say this. I spent a lot of money on the original Destiny, and I kind of let it sit for some months, and I spent a lot of money on PlayStation Plus, and I never really played Destiny, because by then everyone moved to Destiny 2, and I was late to the party, and that made me salty. And then Destiny 2, with everything that happened with that, you know, I didn't want to support that game, so I refunded it. But now that it went free to play and Activision is out of the picture, Bungie has been doing some really cool stuff with this. But this is free to play looter shooters, so as a free to play game, it's not quite complete. It's free to play in a sense that like Guild Wars 2 is kind of free to play. Where it's like, yeah, what was the base game is now free to play. But Destiny 2 is the kind of game where it's like the real game is the end game. So, you know, I can't put it as number 1, even though I will agree that I think as a shooter, it actually has some pretty legitimate mechanics. Though on PC, you know, I kind of always want more, but, you know, it's definitely better than our number 1, I think, in terms of a proper shooter experience. I feel like the class design is kind of, you know, it's like Trove level, and Trove is like kind of, you know, kind of babyish. It's kind of baby mode. It's like, it's definitely no Overwatch. And honestly, I like Borderlands stuff better too. But Destiny, I think, you know, with these expansions, with the new weapons and the customization that comes with that, I think with the full paper doll, there is a decent amount of customization. You know, I don't know how people feel about the PvP today. It ain't no like, you know, it ain't no like MLG Halo back in the day. But overall, as a looter shooter, most people would contend that Destiny 2 is either the best or the second best. And I think for the most part, if you just had infinite money, you want to spend money, buy the expansions, and you have infinite time to really grind out Destiny 2, I think there's some decent content to be had here. For sure. I think before you could debate, really, it was something like, is Destiny 2 even a good game? Like, it's kind of a bad game, isn't it? But now today, I have to say, no, it's a good game. Now we just got to debate, is it a great game or is it just good? So let me know in the comments below. But our number 1 is going to be the game that I spent the most amount of time in. It's going to be the game that I've done the most amount of videos on. It's Warframe. Warframe is the game that everyone loves to circle jerk and promote and talk about. But in recent times, everything that I have ever, you know, talked about and was lashed at and called toxic for has come to fruition. See, this is what happens, guys, whenever you can look at a game and you can see the incentive of developers and you just give them the benefit of the doubt, which generally, you know, that's kind of fine-ish, but I was like the first person to do a video on Warframe. I was in Warframe like day 1 and I could see the trends. Did you know Warframe was actually objectively pay to win back in the day? Yeah, it was. Anyways, so I can see the trend of monetization and where the updates have gone, and honestly, it was really surprising when they started doing the storied campaign stuff. That is so fantastic. But even though it's number one, I do gotta say that we gotta watch out for Warframe. Moving into the future, there's definitely a lack of true content. There's a misdirection of the updates. They're kind of all over the place. And overall, I think we could start the debate of the true quality of those updates, when generally it was like, oh my god, this new update, holy crap, oh my goodness, these new frames, these new guns, everyone was so excited. And now the hype is, it's like a little, we're starting to see more recycled content, more kind of reskinnage, less maybe uniquity overall, and it just seems like Warframe definitely needs like a refresher. They definitely need to go through all of its old content, especially I think with boss design is a big weak point. And really just kind of hone in and focus on what makes Warframe fun, instead of maybe they're just a little too experimental now. I don't know. That's always been the heart of Warframe, so it's really controversial to say that probably. But yeah, Warframe's just always developed like as if it was an early access game, and I think it's just getting to a point where it's like, well, we would like the game proper now. Now that we can see games like Destiny 2, and we played all these different Borderlands and such, and the looter shooter genre is kind of maturing. Warframe's not a brand new game anymore. I think it's time that we should be a little bit more challenged by Warframe. But in saying that, if you are brand new to Warframe, there is a ton of content, and there's a level of mastery that you just can't even imagine with the paper doll in terms of all the customization of mods. If you got the dozens and dozens of hundreds of hours to actually grind them out and customize them, getting all the different frames, and now the story and the rich and I guess universe, though it's becoming more enriched. I think it's really cool to be along for the ride. But Warframe, definitely one of those games that you play heavily for like a week or a month, and then you drop it for a season, and then you come back. I just really am waiting for an update where it's like, okay, now Warframe, that could be my daily game. That's all. That's just kind of how I feel about that game right now. Just wanted to lay it out, but it is my number one free-to-play looter shooter, though it's kind of a no-brainer. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. My top 5. I kept the hype alive. But I do like to, in my videos, even my top 10s, I use these as actual reviews, and I do want to say what's on my heart. No script or anything. Maybe I should use a script. I don't know. But I just want to, get that out there and be like, hey, this is how I really feel. But if you guys want to see more footage on a lot of these games, if not, every one I should have a review, but I might need to modernize some. So that's coming soon. But look on my channel, subscribe, and I've done full reviews or episodic, reviews on each individual part of these games. Definitely check that out and subscribe. Look at the posts that I make. I post every day. I'm just gonna try to work on the Instagram and the tweets, and I guess the twitch.tv/Skylent. I'm gonna try streaming a lot more, and I'm trying to have fun and play these games. So please join the friends and family. I think we're gonna have a really good time. I'm a little bit toxic, but if you want somebody who just speaks their opinion, who doesn't give a fuck, I guess, about the algorithm, though I kind of care a little bit. Hit the like button for the algorithm. But anyways, if you just want to hear someone who's like honest, yeah, that's me. That's it. So let's do it. Let's have some fun, guys, and don't hold anything back in the comments below. And I know you won't. So yeah, join us and keep the hype alive. My name is Skylent, and I'll see you again next time.